tuilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tuilinde, tuajibike, tuimarike, umoja wetu ni nguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Let's have our seats. Good morning, Kericho. Habari ya asubuhi Kericho. Mko salama? Comrades power. Comrades power. UDA. Kazi ni kazi. UDA. Kazi ni kazi. Comrades tugul. Mko salama? Welcome to the Kericho chapter of the UDA Comrades chapter meetings town hall. My name is Arnold Maliba. I will be the moderator, and my co-moderator, please say your name.
Doris Cherotich. Our today's hashtag is hashtag UDA Kericho chapter.
So, quickly, like we told you, remember to engage people online. We will be going directly to the panel discussion, and then after that, after 1 hour, we will be having an open mic session. So feel free, like I told you, you have got freedom of expression. It's going to be a good time as we move forward. To start us off, I'll start with Senator Aaron. Since tuko nyumbani, tuanzie tu nyumbani kwanza. Habari ya Senator? Uko na mic. Yeah. So there are mics next where you are. Once you are done, you...
Yeah, I think it's working.
We are engaging university students here today. Today, allow us to start on a slightly different note. You've been a student leader, you've been an elected leader. Just in a minute, please tell them the role of young people in governance and leadership. Sometimes it appears like it's too far. Cool. In a minute?
Comrades power. Comrades power. Yeah, now I can say I'm in a room full of comrades. Before then, sikukuwa na hakika. Karibuni sana Kericho. Welcome to the town of Kericho. Those that have come from far and wide. But most importantly, it's important to engage these young people. Arnold, I want to say that young people are the positive change that you seek in any society. When they become a bit more involved in the issues that concern their future, then even the key decision makers like us and the policy makers that are here pay attention to the things that they are doing, because then they realize that those for whom they are making those decisions are concerned. Hapo zamani, if we realize that we make any decision, you guys just accept without questioning, without wanting to understand what is the rationale, or without even pushing back and saying, no, we think what you're trying to do is okay, but it would have been better done this or the other way, then there will be no pressure on us. So I want to register my appreciation that the awakening of the young voice in our nation is for positive change and is for a better nation, and therefore we appreciate it from those of us that are in leadership, because it is a push and a demand for a better country for all of us. As you do it though, I'd be quick to add that you be fair, be firm, avoid fake news, and take time to understand what is the reason behind. It's good to engage and also understand. It's not that the people that are making some of these decisions are completely obnoxious or detached from issues or the decisions that are being made. The only ask that I make of these comrades, Arnold and the team that is here, is that you also take time to understand things from the perspective of the decision maker before criticizing. Many times people just say, why has this been done this way? Before understanding, okay, then saying, okay, we hear you, but wouldn't it have been better if you did this or the other? The only ask I make of comrades. Otherwise, it's very nice to have all of you. Karibuni sana huku kwetu nyumbani.
Thank you very much. I decided that we start on a little bit different way of doing it. And Senator, by the way, normally even when you are seated, our headshots and the cameras are okay. You guys can see them properly. So, of course, on the set here, we have got our panel. There is one more guy who's coming. On the extreme end, we have got Aaron Bett. Looks like Aaron is so much of the name from these sides. Aaron Bett is a student. I'll be coming back to you. Just quickly, I'll introduce Director Faith Nora Lukosi. She's from Youth Fund. Then Arap Sang. Arap Sang is Director Public Communication in the Office of the Government Spokesperson. He will also be fielding questions for us today. And next to him, even though they chose to share the seats, it was supposed to be one man. But since all of them are very big that they can fit on one seat, we've allowed them to do so. Next to him, of course, is Professor Machuki. He is a member of the President's Economic Advisory Council. And of course, Senator Aaron here, who is the majority leader, all known to you guys. So, I also have got people in the audience, like the Secretary General, the Treasurer of the party, UDA staff here. At a different time, they'll also be engaging you differently. So, I'd love you to take on Faith Nora a question to let us know if Comrade have got a chance or anything within what she does.
Nora Lukosi, I have a question for you. Are there plans to increase awareness about Youth Fund and its services in institutions of higher learning?
You have a mic next to you. Use that one.
Comrade power. Comrade wisdom. First of all, allow me to appreciate the UDA party for creating this platform, the UDA Comrades Forum, through which comrades are able to engage meaningfully and soberly on matters of national importance. And through this structured framework of engaging comrades, Youth Fund has found a way of engaging and sharing information with comrades on the products that are there for financial inclusion through Youth Fund and how they can access these products. So yes, we have a structured way of engaging comrades. We work with the tertiary institutions, especially on products that are very much related to different institutions. Say, for example, the product that we have for labor migration, where we support comrades who have just graduated from tertiary institutions to seek employment opportunities abroad. We partner with the tertiary institutions, especially vets, and currently we have an MOU with the UK government. It's a government-to-government MOU through which we are supporting comrades who are leaving, who are exiting from TVET institutions to seek labor opportunities abroad, and Youth Fund comes in to support all pre-departure expenses such as visas, air tickets, passport expenses, and undergoing the required medical examinations and pre-departure training. So we cater for all of that up to 300,000 Kenyan shillings. And we are using that thanks to the Comrades Forum. Honestly, as a matter of fact, there is no ruling party that has ever come up with such kind of a structured way of genuinely engaging comrades, and we give it to the UDA party for these comrades, the UDA Comrades Forum. With this, we are able to engage. Information is power, and the voice of comrades matters. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Faith. Professor Machuki, I'd love you to take about 3 to 5 minutes and just talk about the plan. It's important that we remind you about the plan. I think somewhere in the Bible, for those who are Christians, they say, how will they know unless they are told? So I'd love you to just tell us about the plan, tell comrades about the plan. Some of them were young when the plan was actually out there, so they probably didn't catch up. About the 5 pillars, and then I'll bring you in for what is more important about the new funding model at the second round.
Comrades power. Thank you very much. The leadership of the UDA party, our own senior comrade, Aaron Cheruiyot. My name is Vincent Machuki, a professor of strategic management of the University of Nairobi, an alumni of Moi University, together with the Secretary General, Omar Hassan, and Aaron, and Arab Sang here. So, Moi University, oye. Thank you very much. I currently serve in the President's Council of Economic Advisors, and in that council we process policy to operationalize the execution of the plan. As you all know, any administration that comes into office, it is elected to office by virtue of its manifesto. The Kenya Kwanza administration, pre-election, went to all counties and engaged Kenyans, engaged citizens through the county economic forums. And because over a long time, this country's economic policy has been a product of boardroom deliberations, top down. This time round, it was considered prudent to engage the citizens so that their issues are brought on board, and more especially those at the bottom of the economic pyramid. Building from the economic forums, a manifesto was developed, which was then translated into the plan that is now called the Bottom-Up Economic Transformation Agenda, the plan. This plan espouses the President's strategic intent to transform this country. But the key principles that anchor that particular intent is that over time there has been a concern that the economy is in the hands of a few, those who are controllers of capital, and therefore the President was keen to democratize the economy, to get everyone to be into the fold of economic activity to contribute to economic development. So one principle in the plan is democratization of the economy. It is also important to note that as we are seated here, you have all seen that an attempt to bring about politics of regionalization, politics of personalities, politics of where you come from, either from the lake or from the mountain or that, do not have space in the current dispensation. So what the President intends is institutionalized politics. We are here to talk about affordable housing. We are here to talk about universal health coverage. We are here to talk about universities' new funding model. We are here to talk about MSMEs and so forth and so on. So key among the aspects of the President's intent is to institutionalize politics. Number 3 is about entrenching constitutionalism and operationalizing and ensuring that the rule of law is respected, given that this is a democracy. Based on those 3 principles, and together with the issues that were then raised by the citizens, it was established that there are 5 key priority concerns affecting Kenyans, more especially those at the bottom of the economic pyramid. Number one, the cost of living. Number two, ending unemployment. So the cost of living is to be dealt with. Ending unemployment is a concern for the young people. And all of us know that every year we churn out close to 1 million graduates from universities, from colleges, and therefore the economy has to be in such a way that it can absorb. But where it can't absorb all of them, we have mechanisms and interventions to end unemployment. Number three is about enhancing the revenue base so that everybody participates in baking the economic cake. Number four is about ensuring that Kenya has a positive foreign exchange balance so that it stands within its global landscape. And the number five is all about inclusivity, inclusive growth, leaving no one behind. These 5 priority areas require interventions that will have quick turnaround. And it was established that 5 key pillars will have the shortest turnaround to bring about change that will address those priority areas. Number 1, agricultural transformation. All of us know that when you deal with cost of production, when you deal with the inputs, when you deal with having everybody participating in contributing towards ensuring that we increase food exports, we reduce food imports, and we ensure food security, we are able to deal with a number of those issues. So number 1 pillar is agricultural transformation in the plan. Number 2 is micro, small, and medium enterprise development. We all know that micro enterprises face economic situations that prohibit them from competing in the market. And therefore, for the first time, this administration has created a state department specifically for micro, small, and medium enterprises, where the youth from universities, from colleges, have a duty, have an opportunity to engage in businesses, and therefore government is able to provide catalytic funding like the Hustler Fund, the Youth Enterprise Development Fund, Uwezo Fund, and all those catalytic funding so that you actually play in this economic transformation. Number 3 pillar is affordable housing. And the director for housing is here. He will explore further, and we are going to look at ensuring that Kenyans have access to housing that gives them dignity. Number 4 is about universal health coverage. And I will be delving into it later on, because this is a major component towards building a healthy nation so that everybody has got that ability to play his or her role. When a nation is healthy, it will be productive. And lastly, which is the mainstay of our young people, is the digital superhighway and creative economy. We all know, and Senator Aaron here will confirm, that the government has invested greatly in ensuring that in every constituency and going to everyone, there are digital hubs. And my colleague here will talk about Digitume hubs, so that we provide opportunity for those jobs that you cannot do in the office, and many of the jobs in the 21st century are on the digital platforms. And therefore, when all these 5 pillars have been focused on, the interventions and the commitments in the plan are intended to bring about transformation, and more especially touching on the bottom of the economic pyramid. But as you access, and I want, now that you have been enabled digitally, you access the UDA party, and then you get into the plan. It is in the website. and you will be able to go through. What you will discover that these 5 pillars are also enabled by ensuring that ICT infrastructure is developed, manufacturing is enhanced, education is well taken care of. That is all about governance, foreign policy, and you will also find there sports, social protection, and the entire aspect of governance. So, in summary, that is the plan that where we sit, together with His Excellency the President, is about processing policy to be able to operationalize the implementation and execution of this plan. For example, we have been talking about universal health coverage. We have had a policy on ensuring that through Parliament, we have the laws that have to be passed in order to ensure that the universal health coverage is operationalized. The higher education financing model is another one, and several others. So I will stop there. But as we continue into it, we expect that you will have objective issues, raise issues, because here is a policy conversation, and this is the right platform. We are engaging intellectuals. Policy conversations with intellectuals is where we are rooted, and at the first, and I want to congratulate the UDA party for bringing this on board, because by the end of the day, we will be having enhancement. We will be having ideas that will come from our young people in the universities to ensure that as we move forward, we consider the input that comes from you. Thank you very much, and God bless you. We will engage further.
Please clap for Prof. Clap for Prof. Tap on your neighbors. Wait, Mama. Just stand up. Please, you. We agreed during housekeeping that during the first session you pay attention, because as a scholar, even if you pay fees in school and you don't pay attention, you don't pass your exams. Apparently, as we spoke, he was busy on phone. Can you hear me clearly? Okay. So, tumesema watu wapigie Prof makofi, akupiga makofi. Tafadhali angalia Prof na umpigie makofi. Please support me. Now, just quickly to remind you that we are also online. We are engaging on 3 spectrums. Number 1, we have got a physical engagement here. Number 2, we are beaming this live. And number 3, we are also having this conversation online. So, the hashtag we are using is hashtag Kericho, hashtag UDA Kericho chapter. If you have got a selfie, you've gotten a comment, you need something for the people to know, you've got a point, please use that. The keywords ni form ni UDA and Comrades Town Hall. Hashtag UDA Kericho chapter. Keywords form ni UDA Comrades Town Hall. Also on set, he came in while we were continuing. We have got the National Director, Housing and Urban Planning, Mr. James Minor. Just wave. So I expect that all of us will actually follow in silence for this hour, and then the next one, you will actually have an opportunity to actually talk. Doris?
Okay, since we have a representation of Comrade Aaron, I have a question for you. There has been noises about a new funding model. Since you sit in the Presidential Committee of reviewing a new funding model, how far is the process? Thank you.
Thank you. In the wisdom of comrades, it's better to be a humble prostitute than a proud virgin. Comrades, power! Comrades, power! I'll be brief as a cock on the hen, and I would like to thank the President because he gave us an opportunity to serve. Because it's true, we had a lot of arguments based on the university funding model as a crisis. But the good thing with our President, the President listened. And we engaged him because there were a lot of complaints coming from the MTI-based, the new funding model in the universities. And the new funding model in these universities, it was brought in by the President in the aspect of equality and equity. because we all know that a saddest truth is that we are all not equal economically. And therefore, when the president appointed us, we are there to give in what you are proposing so that it can be implemented. And so far, wherever we are in the National Committee, we are now coming back to you now as the comrades in various institutions. We are coming again to villages now to listen from our parents. What is it that they want? What is it that you are proposing that can be implemented to ensure that your funding is effective, cost effective, that we are going to reduce the burden on you, and also, as in Article 129 of the Constitution, it's also giving the responsibility of the government to offer services to us. And therefore, this funding model works based on the MTI. And this is the mean testing instrument that works with variables, that it's even applicable with the funding system in our universities, also to the SHA, because if we could be taking in the request from the ministry that how we are applying, because our biggest fall came after understanding that when we are going to apply for these funds in our, because most of us we do it, it's true that we do it from our cybers. When we are submitting these details to the Ministry of Education, we are never keen to provide the real data that will categorize you to either being in band 1, band 2, band 3, band 4, or band 5. But now also, should you be placed in these different categories, there is also a room for appeals. That is very clear. And with this MTI also, it has a lot of variables. And also, I want to listen also from you, 2 texts, 2 charts, 2 calls, and in all public participation, to give the same proposal. What are these variables that we can introduce in the same funding model to ensure that this MTI reduces the accuracy level, at least when it comes to a point of 0 point something or negative, at least the variables that we will give will improve the funding model. Also, apart from now the proposal that you will give that will be implemented by the government, we have other proposals that, for instance, that we will propose maybe the Ministry of Education or the government to take part not only in funding the higher institutions, but also to take responsibility in managing the funds in various universities to reduce, because most of the universities are in the verge of collapse. And also it's true that when the only time that the universities need the ministry is when there is crisis. But now when we propose that we have also the Ministry of Education in managing the same funds that they are providing, I believe our universities will remain at par, and the issues of funding will not be having crisis. Thank you.
Thank you, Bet. Quickly to Joshua Arap-Sang. Since you come from the Office of the Government Spokesperson, I'd love you to just give us an overview of some of the programs and projects that government is actually running for young people, so that we know that you guys are there and are speaking for government. Come on, basi hakuna.
Thank you, Maliba. Thank you so much, comrades. Comrades, power. Yeah, as you've heard, my name is Joshua Arap-Sang from the Office of Government Spokesperson. I'm so happy to be here today and thank the party led by our able SG for bringing this forum to Kericho. I want to thank also our senator, who is also the majority leader in the Senate, Honorable Senator Cheruiyot, that is with us here, and my colleagues here. So yes, government is so much into the issues of the youth, because youth of Kenya, and especially the comrades, are the leaders of today. These are the heartbeat of the nation. You are the people that decide so many things. Yeah? When you even talk about the Gen Zs that change the way things are done in Kenya just in a month, that even today we have this forum because of you guys. I want to say thank you, because you are concerned about Kenya. I know whenever you come out to speak out, It's not because you hate the government or you hate anybody. It's because there are things that you see in a way that we do not see, maybe as government or as even leaders. But we want to thank you so much, because out of that, the government now is doing things like even one of these through the party, which is a ruling party, that we have engagement one-on-one with the youths. This used not to happen. In most cases, you will find forums that are, political forums. But this is one specific one that the government is so much into it, to see that you have a forum to engage and to share your issues so that the government can understand you. And out of that, you can see, as your representative here said, that there are students, around 120 now, looking into the model, the education model, funding model, because your views matters in this government. So there are many things that have been done. One of them that has results in the shortest time is Talanta Hela initiative. This Talanta Hela initiative is something that has been brought on board to help our youths monetize their talent. Yeah? Monetize their talent. And out of that, we use it to identify, nurture, and develop talents. And I can tell you, we can attest, and you can attest even yourself, that out of that, we have 2 programs under the Talanta Hela initiative. That one is the National Sports Camp, and the other one is the football, Talanta Hela football tournament. We had that the other year, and out of that, you can imagine, for the first time in Kenya, we had our women, our girls, let me call them our girls, the under 17, junior talent, going to the World Cup because of football coming from the Talanta Hela initiative. And again, we are having our rising star, the football under 20. They have just qualified for African Cup of Nations next year. So all this in 2 years of this government, it has brought that change. And out of that, because we want this, nowadays, I am an Arsenal fan. I love Arsenal so much, and I know we are winning the league this year. And because of that, the government, because it knows very well that youths, most of us are footballers, and that is where the money is. Guys are earning up to 2 million in a week. Now, this government has made sure that we are hosting the African Cup of Nations in the year 2027 here in Kenya. Those are things that will encourage you, because for us, we have been seeing these things in other countries, but now it will be here. And out of that, how many stadiums are being renovated and the new ones are being brought up? We have the Kipchoge Stadium in Eldoret. We have the Talanta Hela Stadium in Nairobi. We have Nyayo Stadium and Kasarani Stadium being renovated to CAF and FIFA levels, where it can host all kind of sports. Another one is Jitume. You know very well that as we talk now, it has Jitume Hub, our Jitume Center, where our youths get to be trained about online jobs, as well as earn through online jobs. Now we have trained almost 490 youths, and those, most of them are comrades, and they can now work and earn online. Those who are earning now are over 100,000 from Jitume initiatives, hubs that are in our colleges. I believe in your universities you have. We have almost 274 in our constituencies, where every constituency, and Mheshimiwa can attest here, that the government wants every constituency, even to the ward level, the 1,450 wards in Kenya, we want to host that digital hub, where you guys, when you close school, you can go and do your work there, do your job there, and also help your parents. Like now, we are registering people for universal health. Most cases we used to go to Huduma centers, but you can get it there at your ward. You register yourself, You get the government services there. I know nowadays it's very easy. Like me, I've never gone to NTSA. When I want to renew my license or even my anything that government is doing under the e-citizen, everything is there. From in 2022, only 350 government services were onboarded into the e-citizen. As we talk today, over 22,000 have been onboarded, where Kenyans can get those services from their comfort of their homes. You do not need to go to NTSA to go and line the whole day for you to get services or go to any other government office. You just lock in your house, you finish a KRA, we pay from our homes. Before, you would go, even you guys, help. You used to go to anniversary towers. For us, you used to go to anniversary towers those days, help to follow up. But for now, you finish everything at home. Those are some of the things the government is doing, and many, many others. As it has been said, we have also the Hustler Fund. Hustler Fund. Yeah? People say ni pesa kidogo, lakini hiyo kidogo inasaidia. Mi niliomba ya kwanza, I was given 500 shillings. Nikaona nitatumia nini, lakini nilitumia nikaomba inaendelea. So that Hustler Fund was to help you to meet your immediate need. Ile hapa. So that unaendelea polepole. The government will launch soon. Yeah, it would go to the next step to launch ile watu wa kuomba pesa mingi, wale wa companies and the rest. But for now, it is for hustlers. So let me stop there for now, but I want to assure you that the government is concerned about you, and we want to thank you so much for listening, because being a listening government, we are listening to you. Continue talking. Don't stop. Talk, say it. The government will listen, will act where possible. Where we need to reason together, we will reason together. And where we need to make compromise, we make compromise, because this country belongs to you. You are the majority. Thank you.
Since we have a director housing, Mr. James Maina, I have a question to you. What is there in the housing, in this housing, affordable housing, that will help youths, especially the comrades?
Thank you. Comrades power. Before I start, let me put some little knowledge or wisdom. In the Bible, there was a king in Egypt who had a dream. And the dream worried him so much until some young man called Joseph. Was it Joseph? Interpreted the dream and told him there will come a time in the history of this country, there will be a very worse, very bad drought, and there will be a famine. And so the king decided to plan very strategic and purpose for that time to come, so that his men and his citizens will not go hungry. I don't want to go to the detail, but we have a youth bulge in this country. We have statistics that tells us in another 20 years, all our urban areas will host over 50% of our population. So, if we are not strategic, if we don't plan, then we face a future that will be so bleak. And like that king of Egypt who planned for his people, that's what our president is doing today. And let me try and give you where we are and how we are there. But even before I get to that detail, when our Kenyans went to vote for the Constitution in 2010, there is something they wrote in the Constitution that in Article 43, 1B of the Constitution, that every citizen has a right to accessible and affordable housing with reasonable level of sanitation. Why did they say that? An underline with reasonable level of sanitation. One critical thing at the reasonable is because we are famous for hosting the largest slums in Kenya. And in these slums, sanitation is one of the biggest problems. And many people from all over the world come to see how people do flying toilets. And this is what we are addressing. And the president has commenced today on getting rid of Kibera slums. Our first phase of the projects will be ready in the next 6 months, and we have started. And I can tell you, by the time the president will be over with his 10 years under the Constitution, we will not have Kibera in this country. And let me also remind you, in all our urban areas, we have over 1,400 slums. And these slums in our urban areas, where we anticipate all Kenyans will be living, there lives 50%, 60% to be actual, of Kenyans' population in urban areas. This is not a good thing. And if anyone says everyone has a house, then you know it is not true. It is not the house that is enshrined in the Constitution. Then there is another big issue. And this is the issue of unemployment. Let me get the data correct. We have 400,000 students in our current universities. We have over 360,000 students in our tertiary institutions, the TVCs, the technical training institutes, and national polytechnics. Out of all these students, we produce over 1 million people to the job market. We are only able to get jobs for 200,000. Don't we have a problem? Should we wait for it? And constructing one unit of an affordable housing creates between 3 to 4, 5 jobs directly. If you bring in the indirect jobs, we go to the tune of around 8 to 10 people employed, majority of who are youth. So, the ambitious government program of producing 200,000 and 250,000 units a year, the ambitious program means we are creating almost 1 million jobs every year that the youth are looking forward to get. That is the ambition of this program. And let me now go to some of the specific direct benefits the student can get from affordable housing. The affordable housing project, or the creation of the affordable housing funds, has further allows us to construct what we call institutional housing, and the institutional housing among them is the student hostels. Out of the numbers I've mentioned, of close to 1 million students in our universities, we are only able to house within the school compound only 10% of those students. And, you know, all the benefits that goes to staying in a campus. Professor here will tell you the reason why probably he bright as he is because he spent his time in Moi University and he never went to look for a Kibadagascar somewhere as a hostel. because you have the opportunity to stay with the academia community, and that is the life of a student. You do also have the network. You tell you, and many of our members here, they'll tell you, most of their best networks, they got it from the university. And again, the cost of staying outside the university is quite high. And the affordable housing that will be done for student hostels by the government will be affordable, will also be adequate, as well as have the social facilities that goes with hostels in the student campuses. The number of units we are now, we have gone beyond 100,000 under construction. Those are projects here in Kericho. We have 320 units undergoing. They are currently at 10%. The project just started the other day. And the direct benefit for students, particularly those who are in school and those who are undertaking projects, courses related to construction industry, will get direct attachments. In the life of a student undertaking courses in the construction industry, it's a requirement for the fulfillment of that academic career. You must be attached for close to 3 months. And this is a direct opportunity that students will be attached. The projects are spread across Kenya. And where we are building, students will get that attachment, including within their hostels where we will be building. Then the other, immediately after a course, you realize most of the jobs that you apply for, you tell you 3 years experience, 4 years experience. And I know most of you say, now, when you do an advert and ask a student who has just graduated from the university or from a college for 3 years experience, where do you get this experience? You know, and here it is, you get an internship, fully paid. You gain skills to enable you to gain the necessary experience to gain full employment much later. Of course, our first project, which we call Lot 1 projects, about 5,000 units, being completed. Some will be completed from the start of next month, which is starting tomorrow. January, February, and March, all those Lot 1 projects will be complete. And these units are readily available for Kenyans. And it's a Kenyan with an ID. We want Kenyans, as young as you are, to start saving to own a unit. And it's very simple. Through the Boma Yangu platform, which is an online platform, *832#, you can start your home journey. There are different categories of the unit, both from the income of 25,000, 20,000 and below, 50,000, and above to 100,000. That's a middle class level. Then high class, above 150. All those units are available. And you can own this unit. You can just pay your unit, pay the 10% deposit. If you are not capable, the fund is already able to facilitate you to get your 10%. You get into the unit and start saving and start living and paying for long-term rent to own. Meaning the rent that you are paying for 2,500, you pay that rent for you to own that house. But again also, there is a level of transfer of that unit to a higher level. You are young, or your father maybe got the house for you when you are young, pays as a student, but now you transfer to Nairobi where you have gotten a job, you can transfer, get the amount of money you are paid, look for another unit in Nairobi, for example, transfer that credit, and you get another house. You can also transfer the unit from maybe a studio to a 1 bed, or 1 bed to 2 bed, or 2 bed to 3 bed. Maybe you started when you are young, you have gotten a family, you need a bigger unit. You have also earned an income. Maybe you are wealthier than you are when you are young, because life is incremental. As you grow, you also grow getting some more cash. As you advance, again also, you can transfer that credit in the single room that you started when you are young. You transfer it to a 3-room or a 3-bedroom house, and then you continue paying that. And you can also pay cash if you have, because there are people who have. You can do a mortgage if you have. And the long term can be up to 30 years. So let me stop there and say the opportunity is there, the chances are there, and finally this one I should not forget, because there are people who do not want to be employed. They have decided, my mind, I cannot be employed. I'm gifted in business. We have packaged in affordable housing project. In the Pro 100 project that I've mentioned, 4.4 billion of products worth have been set aside for MSMEs and Juakali. The items that have been struck out from the contractors to be done by young people, the Juakali and that sector, includes doors and windows, balustrades, all welding materials, tiles, all those items, they can be done by the young people. And this one has been set aside to be given as contracts to SMEs and Juakali. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Get me that gentleman there. Just stand up. Please clap for James Maina. I know you didn't hear what he was saying. Okay. Thank you for that. He's taken time and actually dealt with the question on what and the how. So I think you're well tooled. I'd love, when Senator Aaron spoke, he spoke about you people being able to engage in public conversations or in the conversations around the management of public affairs with a little bit of an open mind and also looking at what policymakers think. Now, I'd love him to actually further speak to you, number one, on the importance of you scholars being part and parcel of public management, and secondly, also why it is important for you, people who are going to school, to also be part and parcel of political parties. I say that because KNBS defines the middle class as anybody who gets 46,000 shillings and not more than 184,000. Once ukipata more than that, you become a dynasty, unakuwa mtu rich sana. So those people are very apathetic when it comes to public management affairs and even issues of political parties. So you will hear them raising issues. And why I'd love him to actually speak to that is because Kenya is continuously becoming educated, and therefore we cannot be doing policy and political conversations in rallies only, and we can't get all of you into boardrooms. So the marriage between a rally and the boardroom is the town hall that we are doing. Would you just help them to understand, number one, these guys, and also the middle class, because the middle class are not here, but these are the future middle class. Yeah.
Thank you, Arnold. That's a very important question. The place of us young people in the space of political parties in Kenya. And I think that's important because most of you are here. You're properly branded in a UDA outfit. But I don't know how many of you properly understand the UDA philosophy and why we want you to belong and feel a sense of being part and parcel of the decisions that UDA makes. Professor Machuki here took time quite early at the beginning of this session explaining what are the 5 pillars that we are using as a UDA to drive growth and take Kenya to the next level. At the heart of it all, there is a very important rallying call, which was actually the tune of our campaigns. and it was called the bottom-up transformation, meaning that you find ways of pulling those that are at the bottom of the pyramid to live a fairly decent life. And if you keenly follow through, many of these things that these people are explaining, if it's Aaron at the corner speaking about the university funding model, it's about trying to create and find ways for young kids who are bright, needy, but from very difficult backgrounds, being able to access university education. If it is about Minor here speaking on housing, you realize that his focus is on people who would have otherwise never dreamt of owning a home. But because of Bomayangu as a project, for 3,000 shillings only, they are able to dream and aspire that after a certain number of years, they will be able to own homes. And so many of these programs that have been spoken about, that they all speak to the need of those at the bottom of the pyramid, those that don't otherwise have a chance in life to have a better chance of it. And any conversation, you can talk about shift, any topic you pick, you'll realize that at the bottom of it, there is an attempt to include those. There are people in this country who would never have dreamt of going to a hospital. They knew that if I became unwell and got certain diseases, that was the end of me. It was either people do a harambe for me. If they don't do a harambe, I just sit in my house and wait for death. But because of shift now that is being rolled out, a program that is available and classifies people differently. For me, that has a decent salary, my shift contribution is X amount, a fairly big amount. For that destitute person on the street, it could be even free. Actually, that's part of the law, because we included that those that are extremely destitute, government find a way of ensuring that they are also brought into the universal healthcare program, because it's universal, it means for everybody. Therefore, that is part and parcel of what we believe as part of the UDA philosophy. And that's part of the reason why we continue to face the kind of opposition and noise, because at the end of the day, it's not comfortable doing these things. By the way, all these things that are being mentioned, they are being funded at the expense of somebody else. For you to smile at chief when you go to hospital is because I have been deducted 35,000 Kenya shillings. It doesn't feel very nice. I looked at my payslip actually this week. I almost sent a text to the president and said, are you sure of what you're doing? Because it's 35. This project that this man is speaking about takes away 19,000 shillings out of my salary every month. But it's because I earn better. There are people who don't earn anything. Therefore, if I wasn't a member of UDA, I could easily be part and parcel of those that are making noise and saying, Chief is not working, this housing is stupidity, blah, 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 because it is paining me and cost me something. As UDA, we have thought and said, we need to recruit people like you who understand and are passionate about issues of human rights, issues of trying to make those that have less to live better, decent life, to help us also explain. That's why we have come to universities and tertiary institutions for you to understand our founding philosophy. Hence the question, lastly, Maliba, that you asked, why should young people like them be part and parcel of political parties? The easiest way to cause change in society is through a political party. All established democracies that are older than us, it's extremely difficult for you to finally get to the table of decision makers as an independent or as a single person. You know, just trying to chart your own way out. That's why I keep on telling even the young people that perhaps don't agree with the UDA philosophy, all these people that are running hate campaign against President Ruto and his administration, fine, proceed, but please form a political party, because at the end of the day, hashtags don't vote. It is people that you have to convince that will come out here and eventually cast a vote, either to agree with you or completely disagree with you. Therefore, we need you to be part and parcel of political parties so that you come, sit here, be decision makers, and ensure that you implement the policies that you believe in a better way. Speaking out there without being in a political party already diminishes your chance of being someone that can push positive change. Maybe it reduces you to be just a perpetual whiner who will make noise on social media, then go and drink and sleep and wake up to do the same tomorrow. But being in a political party means that you can go fight hard, be a member of the UDA, maybe structural branches, from the grassroots, all the way even to those of us that hold offices nationally and push positive change in our society. That's why I want to plead with you, comrades. Join and register as many people as possible to be members of the UDA party. We have explained to you what our philosophy is. Thank you.
Comrades,
Yeah, you're on.
comrades, hello. Namchukui notes. Namchukui notes. Professor Machuki, kindly explain to comrades about SHA, shift, and or the Taifa care.
It is so apt. It is shift. Because we are shifting paradigmatically in the universalization of healthcare. Thank you very much. In the 5 pillars that I mentioned in the plan, for those of you who have been very keenly following healthcare provision systems in Kenya, universal health coverage has not started with the administration of His Excellency the President, Dr. William Ruto. Kibaki's presidency tried, and it could not work. Jubilee administration under the leadership of former President Uhuru Kenyatta tried, and you remember the time it was being piloted in Kisumu, Machakos, and some counties, right? 5 counties. It was a good idea, but the approach and the way it was configured, it failed. Here is the Kenya Kwanza administration, and the focus is that universal health coverage must succeed. Very challenging, but it must succeed. How? 1, it was established that financing healthcare in Kenya costs close to around 150 billion from households in Kenya annually. From the very poor households, you are condemned because of non-affordability. Right now, we have, and I've always asked our able treasurer, UDA treasurer, Mheshimiwa Chavez Nyakundi, how many WhatsApp groups you belong to that are contributing to hospital bills, dialysis, and all those. Unfortunately, those who have passed on, again, funeral expenses, before the body is interred, you have to cater for a hospital bill, right? Many of those. So these are some of those problems that when you look at healthcare financing, the current administration is focusing on dealing with. Number 2, access to healthcare commodities. Commodities mean the drugs, the equipment in hospitals, and the facilities that enable delivery of affordable, quality healthcare. And number 3 is about human resource for quality healthcare service delivery. All of us know that we went out to vote for the Constitution of Kenya 2010, and healthcare is a devolved function. However, the national government cannot stay aloof and let the healthcare system in Kenya collapse. And that is why, therefore, through policy processing to ensure that we deal with the financing. And you remember, financing is out of pocket, there is insurance, and there is what government has to pay for. In the analysis, we found that National Health Insurance Fund, which was providing insurance, was only limited to those who are able, those who are salaried, a few, those that are not employed and are able to contribute, and there was an element of selective contribution, right? And you will find people contributing when they have patients in hospital. When they are okay, there's no contribution. But when somebody is sick, they go backdate the contribution so that you are able to access NHIF insurance. Now, to ensure that universal health care is effected, the legislative arm of government ensured that they provide a regulatory legal framework to provide mechanisms that government, together with the county governments, will then implement universal health coverage. Let me quickly run through the pieces of legislation that have been passed to enable operationalization and carrying out or implementing of universal health coverage, and then I'll be able to anchor in that legal framework the Social Health Authority and the Social Health Insurance Fund. The first law is the Primary Health Care Act. Already, the discovery is that in our local villages, we have dispensaries, and we have those facilities categorized as level 1, level 2, and level 3 that are supposed to deal with primary health care that is largely promotive and preventive. However, these facilities have not been empowered, and the care that is given, you find that is not meeting the standards. Either the drugs are not there, the human resource not there, or the facilities are dilapidated. And therefore, through primary health care, the government ensures that those health facilities and all of them are enabled through another act called Facility Improvement Financing Act, so that resources that would go to counties as capitation, so that these facilities are able to be developed, county governments could allocate these resources to other projects and not improve the facilities. So to ring-fence the financing and capitation goes to the facilities, you have the Facility Improvement Financing Act that allows government to ring-fence funding out of the fee-for-service and other government budgetary allocations purposely to improve these facilities. In between the Primary Health Care Act and Facilities Improvement Financing Act, we have the Social Health Insurance Act. This is very key for you, so that you are able to understand where the Social Health Authority comes in, the Social Health Insurance Fund comes in. As I've said, NHIF only was limited to catering for insurance from those that are able to contribute through monthly contribution because they are employed, salaried people, and adverse selection for those that were voluntary contributors. Adverse selection is when you are faced with a calamity, a disease. That is when you say, I have not been contributing for 6 months, Now that a patient has been admitted, you go pay so that you can access. That is adverse selection. And in transitioning from NHIF to social health insurance, we also determined the issue of claims management and the payments. For those of you who have been following, and I know you are very keen to follow, government is now being, it's required to pay the debts that were incurred by NHIF. Services were being provided by healthcare facilities, but NHIF was not settling, to a tune of 4 billion for mission hospitals, to another tune of 3.5 billion in private healthcare facilities, and so forth and so on. Now, what was the reason? The reason was about governance and fictitious claims manufacturing. The claims were being manufactured. I've said in this forum, and I will repeat it. A chemist somewhere in some place I don't want to name because it is not. We have all the information. Is registered in NHIF as a level 5 facility. And they will claim to have undertaken 109 amputations. And all those are claimed from NHIF. And within NHIF are the operatives that will work for those people, and you will find all that going. We have another hospital doing 3-4 times more surgeries than KNH, Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital combined. We have other facilities that will present claims that Daniel Otieno, Hassan Omar, and Cheruyot, all these are men and they have given birth. You see, you find very fictitious claims there. So out of that, we had to deal with that mess. And that is why we wanted a platform where the financing is going to cover everybody, and that is in this, through this Social Health Insurance Act, the Social Health Authority was established. The Social Health Authority is an entity that has been established for purposes of strategic purchasing of healthcare services from healthcare facilities on behalf of the citizens. So you go, get the services, and then Social Health Authority will pay for those services. Now, how? Through the administration of 3 funds. Number 1, the first fund is called the Emergency, Critical, and Chronic Illnesses Fund. You realize that once you have been admitted in a hospital, there is a possibility that the Social Health Insurance Fund, which is the second fund, because I want to explain the 3 of them, that you have gone to a facility and your social health insurance fund has been exhausted. So, some chronic illnesses, some critical illnesses, for example, an emergency, you will have to go to another level where government will have to fund. So, through the Emergency, Chronic, and the Critical Illnesses Fund, purely funded by government, you are able to then find those services fully paid by government. Number 2, there is the Primary Healthcare Fund. Already, government is capitating lower level healthcare services so that when citizens access those services at primary care health facilities, government pays and you are, as a citizen, not required to pay anything. The debate that has come on board with Social Health Insurance Fund is because it is contributory. So the first 2 funds, no one is contributing to it. Government is the one that takes care of. So Social Health Insurance Fund is contributory. How? You have heard Mheshimiwa Aaron Cheruiyot saying that 2.7% of his gross salary goes into SHIF. Now, for those who are not able, the indigents, government contributes for them. For those who are in the informal sector, we have what is called the means testing instrument. As you enroll, and that is where you come in, as you help your families on board into social health authority, there is information that is required that you provide that information. That information is then used to means test a household, not an individual, a household. So if you on board as Aaron Cheruiyot, and you have 4 or 5 dependents, all of them are onboarded, and then a means testing is done on the information that is provided, it will give an estimation of your income by virtue of the information that you are provided, and then calculate this 2.75% so that the contributions now, as we have determined, average around 540, but we have those that are contributing minimum 300 and all through. And this law has made that contribution mandatory, from advanced selection to mandatory, so that the whole spectrum of society, everybody contributes. Those who are not able to contribute, government contributes for them. And then the package of healthcare facilities, the package of health services that you are getting have been determined. The cost, everything has been determined. And therefore, the last act is the Digital Health Act, Arnold. Healthcare has been placed on the digital superhighway so that these fictitious claims, all these things, are a thing of the past. And it is going to enhance prudence in the management of the resources, and claims management has been made easier, and we have dealt with the issue of governance. And therefore, I will want to ask all of us to register. Yesterday there was mass registration, and we continue through star 147 hash, or you go to the Social Health Authority website, and you are registering there, and we will ensure that the Social Health Authority onboards the healthcare facilities, contracts with them, and that is where we are, and we will be ensuring that in a few weeks' time, everything should be running to ensure that everybody accesses this healthcare that is a major concern for all of us. Thank you very much.
Please clap for Prof. Pigie Prof makofi vizuri. Simama tu, umejiona. Tumeonana, simama tu. Wewe hapo hivyo hivyo. You in a jeans coat. Yes. Tumeonana na tukaongeleshana kimacho tu. Huku pigia Prof makofi mpaka nikakuangalia. So pigia Prof makofi vizuri. Okay. We are going to the open mic session. Thank you very much for our panelists. Professor Machuki, I know you will be responding on the issue of the new funding model for comrades. It's very, very important. I know that will come up. Faith Nora, you will be telling us how comrades can actually benefit from Youth Fund, right? It's important. So, but then let's allow them to actually ask us questions. I've got 3 people standing. We've got 3 mics in here. But I'd love to remind you, dial star 254 hash to access Hustler Fund. Kama uko na deni yetu ya Hustler Fund pia ulipe. And Prof has also told you, dial star 147 hash for you to be onboarded onto the SHIF platform. It's One Nation 47 counties. 147 hash, star 147 hash, get there. Now, if you feel like you must be part and parcel of the conversations online, zile zenye zina resist SHI na Taifa Care, please, first of all, dial star 147, be onboarded, na urudi online uendelee kuresistia huko hivyo. Because when you fall sick, those guys there will not be hashtagging you to be supported. Sawa sawa. You guys tell that to your relatives and support them. Then finally, of course, there is the *823# to get onto the Bomayangu platform. The journey of getting a house, James Maina has actually done that. Nimewapatia nini tatu usisahau. Sawa sawa. So, to the question and comment section, one person, one question, 1 minute. If you are going to give a comment, I'll give you 2 minutes. Sawa sawa. Sawa sawa. Tulikuwa tushaongea hii tukaelewana. So I'd love to start from that end. You look at the usher, you raise your hand if you have a question or you have a comment. Whoever is ready to go, we move with them. Can I have that gentleman there on huyu amevaa saa ya gold hapo hivyo? I just saw the watch. Your name, the institution, question or comment?
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Kalef Kipchirchir Kurgat. I'm from KMTCC Gowet. Mine was just to comment on and maybe to raise a concern concerning the new funding model. KMTC for quite long imekuwa na shida sana ku access the help. But after the government ya Ruto, tumekuwa na nini ya KMTC finance scheme. But now the new funding model mess things terribly. So my concern na hapo kwa hiyo KMTC finance scheme, kwa sababu hiyo pesa yote yenye sisi kama like watu wenye tuko KMTC, kama help imekupea pesa yote inaenda kwa shule. Unaona, like venye there is a wise saying kikwetu anasemanga masomo ni moenele. Unaona, so like umeshika pesa yote umenilipia fee, lakini mimi personally sini welfare yangu hujaimaliza. So like I was nilikuwa naona kukue na changes, some amount iende shule na some amount iende kwa pocket ya mwanafunzi, kwa sababu comrades tuko na mashida mingi sana. Unaona, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Another comment ni okay.
No, we agreed 1 person, 1 question, and you've done so well.
2 minutes.
No,
Comment.
you made a question. A comment will be a different person. Can I have that gentleman there? Bring the mic.
Comrades Power. I'm Gabriel Supet from Narok, president of Great Masai Mara Technical College. And I have 2 questions. I'll use my 1 minute to ask both of the questions and to give comments. The first thing is the issue of youth empowerment. Tumesikia UDA ni chama yetu, inajali vijana. That's why wali come up na story ya comrades wakakuja kutuongelesha. So we have a problem of unemployment in our country. Tuko na shida ya unemployment na tuna graduate kila siku lakini tunabakia nyumbani bila kazi. And many of us have taken technical courses. Nilikuwa nauliza mbona serikali yetu, and we are the ruling party, mbona tusitafute kakiti ama tupesa kidogo ya kupea fresh graduates waanze biashara zao. The second thing is about the issue of school fees. We have bursaries. In my home county, governor wangu amejaribu sana, kila ward iko na bursary ya 12 million. Na kuna wakati kuna bill ililetwa parliament ya kusema kwamba hiyo bursary yote ichanganywe na ile help loan, school fees shule ikuwe free. Mbona msikubali hiyo bill so that we will not be paying school fees? If you really care hustlers, Mike kindly. Nasema wazazi wetu wengi na our siblings are wishing to be educated, lakini hatuna hiyo uwezo ya kulipa pesa. Mbona tusitoe hiyo basari yote na shule ikuwe free kuanzia primary hadi college? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. This guy to be the last one here. I'll come back for the next round. Kindly get him the mic.
Okay, my name is Victor Koech from the Great Masai Mara University, and my question is, how will Kenya Kwanza government involve youth in solving some specific problems. Like we don't have enough representation of youth in government, and those youth can help us. They have a better understanding of the specific issue that are challenging, like mental health, something like maybe unemployment rate, and matters academics. When we have them in government, they have a first-hand experience that can help implement and come up with the best thing that can help our comrades. As my home neighbor Joshua Rapseng has said, we are the majority, and our issues must be solved. Comrade power.
Power.
Comrade power.
Power.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I would love to also have women. So far I'm only seeing men. Kwani hapa hakuna wadada? Let's go with her.
Okay, my name is Chebet Valerie from Kericho Township Technical. I'm here in the interest of the TVET comrades. My question is the new funding model. At times the TVET students feel unrepresented because you can see when the president was picking the committee to review the new funding model, they were only picked from the universities, whereas that the new funding model affected the comrades from the TVETs, because you can find that after the university students went to complain that this new funding model is not favorable to them, the scholarships and the help loan were delayed in the TVETs. Thus, some students failed to sit for their NEC examinations because the rule is that you must finish the school fees before you sit for that same examination. So you find that the new funding model affected the comrades from the TVETs, and yet they feel not represented. There is nobody that will go and talk on the behalf of the student. How will you go about that? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can we give priorities to ladies? If there is one, I've dealt with 3 men. I'd love to see a lady, please. Come, tunasema ladies na unaona mwanaume ameinua. 1/3 rule. We've done 3 men, 1 lady. That is not a third. A third of 4 is 1. Hiyo hesabu umeruka. Just a moment.
My name is Cherono Christabel from University of Kabianga. Mine is the issue on the CDF. The CDF.
You are so soft. Your name, the institution, and then you are very loud. We can't hear you.
Okay, my name is Cherono Christabel from University of Kabianga. Okay, my issue was on the CDF and the new funding model. When you see the CDF, the money allocated to the CDF it's a large amount of money, and now it has to come from various institutions so that it can reach to our schools. And now, as the ruling party, you can propose a bill so that those CDF can be channeled directly to the school institutions, so that, because it has to come from these MPs, MCAs, then schools. Why can't it be passed directly to the schools?
Somebody had asked that, but thank you very much, Hirono. In front, there was a lady there.
Comrades power. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, moderator, can you allow me, I ask one?
Just one, please. One. Let's proceed.
From the labor parts.
It's fine. One.
Thank you. Yes, we have, just let me ask from the labor side. What is the government doing to safeguard youth employed abroad through labor mobility, especially in Saudi Arabia?
Thank you. Thank you. Because there are so many guys raising their hands here. Can I have this one? Give this one. Okay.
So my name is Amos Anai, a student leader from Bomet KMTC. And for anyone that has been listening, everyone in that panel has talked about fake news. And the only way to counter fake news is by true news. We're being fed news that have receipts of stalled projects. Show us what the government has done and give us receipts of that. A question. Pesa ilikuwa kwa NHIF ilienda wapi? And if SHA and SHIF is a very good thing, why is it being forced on people?
Thank you very much. Amerig alikuwa uliza swali moja lakini ni sawa. Next question. Comrades power. Comrades power. Comrades transact. Sawa. Uliza swali.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. Thank you very much for this opportunity. My name is Elizabeth Nkaiwatei, a student from Masai Mara
Can we listen
University.
to her kindly? Can we listen to her? You will have your opportunity. We will listen to you. Give her an opportunity.
Okay, like I said, my name is Elizabeth Nkaiwatei from Masai Mara University. And my question is, like this period, we are celebrating the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. So I have a question. Like we have had cases of so many students, more so girls, who are being victimized and being killed in schools. So my question is, what measures is the government putting so that we are sure that we as the girls or as the young generation, as we go to school in different counties, we are safe and secure? Because most of us are being victimized, and most of the cases, even those that have gone to court, very few zenye tumeona that action has been taken. So what will the government do to ensure that we are safe and secure so that we can learn in a peaceful environment without any worries?
Thank you. Let's go at the back. The people at the back. Tunakuja. Tunaanzia mwisho kabisa so that msisema tu kufika uko kwa ukuta. Yes.
Comrade power. Comrade power. My name is Ngoboy Letaipa from Kericho Township, and I'm here joining the UDA Comrade chapter, and I don't want you to let me down in this way. The rate of the unemployment in Kenya is really a problem to most of us. Tukiangalia hapa, how many youths hawana kazi? Tuongee ukweli. There are many comrades wenye wamemaliza shule. So I'm here by telling the party and all stakeholders, please let us make this rate of unemployment reduced. Otherwise, thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's try also in the middle here, because back middle. Simama tu. Your name?
Asanteni sana. Naitwa Kiblangat Arab Moi from Kenya Islands University. So swali langu ni je, hizi vitu tunasema hapa inafanya kweli?
Gani hizo?
Yeah, this is because hapo awali tulikuwa tunasema serikali ni yetu. Serikali ni ya mama mboga, serikali ni asla. Lakini hata kwa nomination ile tulifanya hatuchaona hata youth hata moja mwenye mliweka serikali. Sasa tunasaidika wapi? Another thing, President akikuja hapa Bomet, Senator Aaron Cheruiyot, nataka nikuulize, President akikuja hapa Bomet anaongea tu 10 minutes ameenda, lakini tunasikia akienda huko tunasikia 6 days, yeah? Sasa shida yetu ni nini? Unasikia chuzi alikuja hapa Tenwe kufungua a private hospital, ni 5 minutes. Na tulikuwa tumeenda hapa kukaribisha president. Hakuna kitu tulipata, tulinyeshewa hata president na kuongea. Sasa shida ni nini? Wote kwanza serikali ni yetu. Yaani? Sasa mnasema tena tukuje tuongee hapa mambo ya help. Na already shafanya kwa shule, sasa inasaidia nini? Mnaongea mambo ya housing. Si housing sasa hata natoka Bomet. Nyumba zinaendelea kujengwa huko sasa. Sasa inasaidia nini? Mnaongea mambo ya SHA nini na already imefanya. Sasa tunasaidika wapi? Hata mimi niko private university na nasikia wanatupea 60,000 average kila mtu. Hakuna upkeep kwa wenye waliingia juzi. Sasa watasaidika vipi? You have to address those issues. Hata nilikuwa nataka sasa president akuje live hapa. Sasa mnakuja tena amleti president. Sasa.
Thank you. Thank you.
Tutapatana na president wapi?
Thank you.
Asante sana. Naitwa
Thank you.
Moi from Bomet.
Thank you. Bring the mic here. Bring the mic here. I'm the one with the mic. Kindly get me the mic. Take, kata hiyo mic kwa. Tunaenda na order. Nipatie mic. Nipatie. That's how it works. Friend, stand up. Comrades, power. Please proceed. Your name, institution, and question.
Fellow esteemed comrades, this forum belongs to us. So I'll just begin. With the 2010 Constitution, actually it was supposed to address the issues about unemployment and everything. I want to ask the representation that is here. We have a rule that 25% of all county and national contracts and tenders should be for the young people. How far are these people giving this to us? Ama wale watu tunaambiwa watu wameshinda tenders ni youth na ni youth mwenye ako 95 years. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Can I get that guy there? Tunarudi. Ukimaliza na mic
Okay,
unanipatia.
Arwet Sports Minister Gibson Mungut. My question is that we had edition, and I want to thank you, Majority Leader. You had the tournament KK, and we had a youth, a very small youth from a small village here called Matobo. He won the best player, and he was under 12. What measures do you have, Mr. Joshua Arabsang, to identify those talents from the small village by visiting and collaborating with these people who are the sponsors of the tournament? Kindly ensure that, because those youth cannot get to this county, maybe to get to this level of county, what measures do you have to collaborate with these sponsors of the tournaments? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Clap for him. Since we have done a round one, allow me to actually give the panelists to respond, then I come for round two. Aaron, we start with you. Relax, tunarudi. I'd love with Aaron to begin because wanasema HE anakuja hapa 5 minutes na tuko nyumbani. So hii tuanze hapo kwanza with any other question you should respond to.
Well, I think from the questions that have been asked, there are about 2 or 3 that I can respond to. The first one, somebody asked about legislation that was being proposed to ensure that we combine all bursaries and put that money together so that education becomes free from primary all the way to university. The answer to that is simple. If you put together all the resources that go to bursary from what the MCA gives or the county government, sometimes it's fought, you don't know whether it's from the MCA or the governor, what the women rep gives, and what are these called? Members of the National Assembly, CDF gives. It totals to a very small fraction. It's hardly 10 billion shillings. The cost of education, if you see through this year's budget alone, education is the biggest charge on our national budget, costing in excess of 650 billion Kenya shillings. So, whatever is being given in bursary doesn't form even 1% of what it will cost to educate everybody free of charge. I was trying to ask Prof here and I couldn't get it, whether he's aware of any country in the world where education is free from primary to secondary. And that includes the wealthiest of nations, let alone a third world country like Kenya. So even as we try to seek solutions, let us stick to within the realms of reality, because that's what life is about. And I think we were honest with each other and we said, as we begin this conversation, there are adults in the room, so we'll say things that are practical. So the answer to that is that it's because no country in the world can afford that, not even Kenya. Second issue, somebody asked about presidential visits, that sometimes they are too short in this region. The comrade who stood said, hakupata kitu. So I don't know what exactly he wanted. Because that invitation was to a private facility. Somebody has put in 5 billion Kenya shillings of their money. It's an organization called Samaritan's Pass. The only ask they have made of the government is that honor us by ensuring that the day we open this facility, be present so that we know that you appreciate that we've made donations to your country. I believe it was a good thing to appreciate such people that have made donations to our country. Therefore, it was worth for him to take his time and come and listen to them. He would have addressed people, but he trained. So how do you address people? Namvua imenyesha. So, and I believe there will always be times where he will come and engage. The model that has been adopted, as opposed to the previous one, where we'd address ourselves in rallies, I have seen him do town halls. I saw one in Kisumu, I saw another in Taveta. I am sure we will have our own also, like this. A town hall is a session like what you are having now, and you will get to personally ask him about the questions that are being asked presently. I think the last issue was in the issue of employment opportunities. The gentleman that asked got me confused, because when I was invited to the meeting, I was told you're coming to talk to students. So I was a bit lost that does he want to work and study at the same time, which would be commendable, because Sang there talked about the program. It's called what? Tujitume program, because it's available for students who want to work and get employed. So I think when you will be responding, you can give an answer to people like that gentleman who are interested in studying and working at the same time, because those opportunities are available. On the issue of safety, I think of Kenyans that are going out in diaspora, I saw the chairman for NEA is here, Mr. Vincent Kigen. I'm sure I will yield the floor at some point, because I will not stay all the way to the end, and he will get an opportunity to respond to those issues about safety of Kenyans that are going to work in diaspora. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Aaron. Just allow me to actually jump over to this side. We also have got guys who can respond to some questions, because I've realized some of them are actually to the scope that they could handle. We've got the UDA National Treasurer here, who is also a member of parliament. Somebody spoke about young people not being in government. They are the majority na ni wachache. Na wewe najua wewe ni boy boy. Allow me to call you that, Treasurer. Wewe ni boy boy. Mwili tu ndio kubwa, lakini miaka ni kidogo. So mwambie kuwa asikuona hapa kaona wewe ni mbaba. Kindly just as in young people in this government, please.
Thank you, Maliba. Comrades, power. Comrades, power. Comrades, wisdom. Comrades, wisdom. A breakup should not find you. A breakup should not find you single. Hata sisi kwa serikali, when the breakup was about to come, it did not find us single, because Baba was with us. Sindio? So he has asked me a good question on issues to do with young people being involved in government. I'll tell you here today, as young people, number one, we started this kind of programs so that we can be able to involve the young people in leadership and governance. I can give you a good example of young people who started in such forums. A good example is my good brother and Senator, Majority Leader, Aaron Cheriot, who was a student leader. Another person is our Secretary General, who seated here today, who was a student leader at Moi University. Our chairperson, Honorable Cecil Mbarire, was also a student leader. So I want to tell you that young people are, number one, involved, or they are employed in government, or they are given an opportunity in government. I can give you a good example. One person who's been supported and who's in government right now, who's a member of parliament, is this young person you are seeing here today. At 33 years old, I knew no one apart from a few friends of mine. Many people came and supported me. I won the ticket of UDA against very senior people. One of them right now is the Cabinet Secretary for Education. And after winning my ticket as the UDA, winning the slot as UDA that time for MP, the President, Dr. William Ruto, came personally 4 times to my constituency to come and support me. In Kisii, they don't elect young people. Most of the people who are elected are very old people. I can assure you, this government has really employed very many young people. It is only that most of the young people who are employed, they are not maybe very well known. A good example is this lady here, Faith. Faith works with the Youth Fund. Very few people know her, but she's here with us today. So what I'll tell you as young people, never lose hope, always get focused, work hard, and with time, you'll also get a space where you'll always get a space where these functions are. And when you get a space, make sure you use it well. I'll give you another thing. Personally, when I was elected, President William Ruto came 4 times in my constituency. He supported me financially, he supported me socially, and with so many other things. At 33 years old, being a treasurer of a UDA, of a big party like this one, most people don't get such opportunity. I never knew anyone. William Ruto just saw my potential and gave me an opportunity to serve as a treasurer in the UDA party from a small village in Ikuruma, Uko in Kisii. So I'll tell you, always as a young person, nobody should tell you that you cannot be able to do it. Come out. I normally say, dress up, show up, and come out, and things will work for you. There's one other thing I want to say. All these policies that the government is putting in place and microeconomic indicators are for the benefit of the people of Kenya, and more especially for the benefit of me and you. A good example is the UHC. The UHC, Uhuru tried it, Kibaki tried it, but it never worked. I assure you, with President William Ruto, universal health care, which is now Taifa Care, will work, and this is for the benefit of all of us. The university funding model is for the benefit of all of us. Most of the people did not believe in the policies that President William Ruto started. A good example is when he said that we will subsidize production and not consumption. Right now, everybody is happy because in 2022, as a country, we only managed to get 34 million bags of maize. Right now, as we speak, we have managed to harvest 74 million bags of maize. That time they were telling us, some were even putting sufuria in the kichwa. Right now, the other day in parliament, even the opposition were clapping for William Ruto because of the policies that he managed to put in place. Another thing is maneno ya maziwa. When he said that let us put 3 billion towards KCC so that we can be able to do mopping up of milk. In 2022, we were able to get about 3.2 billion metric tons of milk. Right now, we have managed to get 5.7 billion metric tons of milk. This is because of the policies that President William Ruto put in place, and that is why we are here today. I want to tell you, good people, most people are complaining about Taifa Care. Right now it's working. As you complain, tell your parent, register *147#. Young people always get to know what is happening in government. And I appreciate that the young people have been able to involve themselves in leadership and governance. I can see my brother Vincent Kigen is here today. Vincent Kigen is the chairman for National Employment Authority. This young man here will tell us how he has managed to employ or take labor mobility out of this country. 105,000 people have been taken out of this country to get employment and earn a living so that that money he gets can reciprocate back to the country. So I encourage you young people to always get involved in issues to do with leadership and governance. I don't want to talk much. I want to call my able Secretary General, Honorable Hassan Oman, to say something.
Asante sana ndugu yangu Nyakundi. Comrades power. Comrades power. Mimi, Cecily Mbarire, Aaron Cheriot, and others is testament that in student leadership is the path to national leadership. Kwa hivyo sisi tulipoingia katika uongozi wa hichi chama cha UDA, we requested the president, particularly with the current and the evolving political scenarios, that it is important, as it happened in the yesteryears when Moi was president, the late President Moi, that we engage or look for a formula to engage students actively and innovatively. Kwa hivyo, tuko hapa leo as evidence that we do not fear to engage with the Kenyans in an open government, that we do not fear, or we are courageous enough to ensure that this is the most tested and reliable aspect of direct democracy, is through town halls. So through these town halls, we hear you, we are processing your views, and before you is a panel of eminent policymakers, men and women who have crafted some of the policies that are being implemented today, who are able to field your questions and are able to give you solutions, and we are able to take your feedback in terms of what are the genuine concerns of the Kenyan people. Kwa hivyo, this is not an accident. No party in this country has put students and young people in a forum. We will continue this until election comes and election goes. So therefore, we came here out of free will, out of our own volition, out of an endorsement by His Excellency the President William Ruto and the leadership of UDA. Through the ideas of some of your comrades led by Brian and others, we decided that it is important to form the Comrades chapter as an avenue to engage the young people directly, and secondly, to ensure that we have an honest policy conversation where we can escalate whatever the issues that emanate from these forums to inform public policy, so that we improve our government, we improve our governance, and we improve our country. Number two, which is the point I will make for you to understand, 60 years of the country's independence. Tuliambiwa uchumi utaboreka, watu watapata afya, vijana watapata elimu, ugonjwa tutapigana nao, na mambo mengine mengi sana, umaskini. 60 years on, Kenya is one of the most unequal countries in the world. Number one ni Brazil. Number two ni South Africa. Number three ni Kenya. In the last 2 years, there is a constitution of Kenya that is based on the values of social democracy or democratic socialism that mandates governments to intervene so that those who have less are given affordable and access to health facilities and other social amenities, and those who have more pay for themselves. Wewe kama ni tajiri, kwa nini unataka mtoto wako alipiwe elimu? Kwa nini wewe usilipe ada yako kwa serikali ili tupatie yule maskini na yeye fursa kama yeye awe kama mtoto wako? That is what is called social justice. To make those who are worse off better off before those who are better off become well off. And that's what this government has been continuing to do. Article 21(2) of the Constitution mandates governments to intervene, to create legislative and other policy formulations to ensure that Kenyans realize Article 43, which is the right to housing, right to health, right to water, right to sanitation, and right to education. And the interventions sometimes are extremely hard and tough and tough for those who have. Wamezoea, wamekwenda mahospitali ya kibinafsi for 60 years by feeding on the sweat and the blood of the poor. Leo maskini through the universal healthcare amepatiwa fursa na yeye kwenda katika hospitali ya kibinafsi, private hospital. Wameanza kelele kwa vile maskini sasa pia anapatiwa fursa. When we talked about a mama mboga government, we simply meant we will go down and make sure that everybody gets an opportunity. Kama vile William Ruto alikuwa mtoto wa maskini akaenda paka juu, watoto wengine wa maskini wataweza kwenda juu katika hii taifa. And this is what we are saying. Those who have so much, either fanya walipe waajiriwa wako vizuri, or we will come in terms of a tax justice policy and ensure that from your taxation we are able to provide health care to those employees that you do not cover under a healthcare program. Kama wewe utoweka watu wako chini ya mpangilio wa afya, serikali itachukua kodi kwako ili hakikishe imeweka Wakenya wote katika mpangilio wa afya. Wewe unatumia 100,000 katika kikao kimoja cha chakula na familia yako, na unachukua secretary wako unamlipa 50,000 ama 20,000. We must create an equal society. That's why for 6 years we have become one of the most unequal societies in the world. We are here to cure that, to reorganize, to totally transform and fundamentally shift the societal imbalances, to change the architecture of our social structure, the architecture of our political structure, and more importantly, to have an inclusive economy. Kwa hivyo ndugu zangu wadogo, what the government is doing, it is not being forced upon anyone else. It is those who must have or live to the obligations that have refused to do it for 60 years. The courage of the Kenya Kwanza government and the leadership of William Ruto. Kibaki ali back down. Moi ali back down. Uhuru ali back down. But Ruto will soldier on. So that we are able to ensure that we cure what has ailed this society since independence. To ensure that every Kenyan is put in the brackets of the economy. Watoto maskini wamepewa elimu. Na wale ambao hawana afya nzuri wapatiwe fursa ya kwenda katika zahanati za kiafya. Kwa hivyo, this is a government of courage. This is a government of commitment. What we are, kama mumesoma the plan, we are implementing the plan word for word, commitment for commitment, and promise for promise. That's what we are doing. The only other party to have put out a manifesto, for those of you who are students of political science, and to attempt to achieve that manifesto, was the KANU during Moi's time. Sahi, sisi tumeweka manifesto. Tukasema tutahakikisha watoto maskini watakaa mashule wasome. Na tukasema wale ambao wana kingi watalipa kingi, wale ambao wana kidogo watalipiwa chote. When I was in school in Moi University with Professor Madhuki and Professor Kindiki. Professor Kindiki was my classmate, Professor Madhuki was our yamet. I was getting the least bursary. Because at that time, nilisema babangu anafanya kazi na mamangu anafanya hivi. Lakini kuna wengine, so therefore this unequal funding model has existed since the time we were in more universities in the late 90s. Through the Higher Education Loans Board. Madhuki aliweka pale information, akasema yale aliyosema. Mimi nikaweka information, tukasema yale tuliyosema. Mimi nikapatiwa 18,000, Madhuki akapatiwa 38,000. Kwa hivyo, let us have an honest discourse and conversation so that we improve what we are doing. Let us also tell you what this government is attempting to do against all odds so that we alter the structure of our government, the structure of our economics, and the structure of our politics. Kumaliza kabisa, I'll talk about youth leadership. We have started these hustler chapters, and I want to talk to you from the bottom of our hearts. Tumeanza hizi chapters za vijana, comrades, and we are going to capacitate the youth chapters because we believe this is the future not only of the party but of Kenya. We want you to come in and take roles in this society, to have the information and the know-how, to build networks, to raise above ethnicity, kuwa ni wa Kenya. Yule aliyosema serikali ni yenu, serikali ni yetu sote. William Ruto was chosen by the people of Kenya. He must serve the people of Kenya equally and faithfully. He must raise above ethnicity and balkanization. He must show us the way so that kesho, anybody, no matter who you are, can be elected president of Kenya. Tukiendelea na ile siasa ya shares na ownership, hii nchi itakuwa balkanized. People will have no chance. We will be led and manipulated ethnically. Those who want to rule us will manipulate our emotions. They will lay a siege mentality. Leo wewe ukipata shida, badala kusema ni shida yako, unasema mlima imeguswa. Sisi hatujagusa mtu. Sisi tumegusa wa Kenya kwa maendeleo. Sisi tunataka kugusa wa Kenya kwa imani yetu. Sisi tunataka wa Kenya watuguse kwa kutupa imani yao ili tushirikiane kama watu wa moja. Na hii ndio, kwa hivyo kila nikienda natoa salamu za deputy party leader, Professor Kithure Kindiki, who I have asked and been requested that he will be able to ensure he initiates a process to ensure that this country stands as one. Kwa hayo mengi, nitawacha wale technical people will respond to the technical questions, lakini one day I will come to address the UDA so that you can take up your roles as we transit. Some of you must come in and fill these positions so that you take microphone. Imesema nikome hapo.
Pigia SG makofi. Brian Kam, kuna swali iliulizwa hapa hivi. There is one person who confirmed that nyumba zinajengwa Bomet, High Education Loan Board, as in the new funding model inafanya kazi, but he kept on asking, munatuambia so that what? You are the chairperson of the UDA Comrades chapter. I love you to answer that question. Ameuliza, hizi vitu zote munatuambia ndio ikue? In a minute.
Comrades power. My name is Brian Kipkorir. I'm the chairperson for the Comrades chapter. I want to answer that question by saying this. In any society, one of the principles that will never change, it is the truth. And that's why we are here to inform you on the programs of the government and how it's being tailored down and also how it's being implemented so that you may understand and also to get to know what the government exactly is doing. We are disseminating the information in the actual factual point of it. And that's why we have these technocrats here, and also we have other students who also are in the new funding model refining it. So we are not here just to say, and so what? We are here to tell you that whatever the government is doing is a real implementation that needed to foster the society change and also to better the social expectation of the Kenyans so that we may have a transformative economic and also in the side of social justice. So we are here so that we may have this information and also you help us to disseminate this information to each and every individual because you are here by the chance and also be our ambassador for the UDA party and for the government. Asanteni sana, tutazidi kuzungumza na wale ambao watazungumza na mimi. Karibuni.
Thank you, Brian. Mr. Vincent Kigen, there was a question on labor. She asks, and two other guys spoke about jobs. Vijana wana kazi. I'd love you to just tell us what NEA does and the current programs that young people can benefit and work with. There's a microphone there. In about 2-3 minutes.
Comrades power. My name is...
It's working. It's okay.
It's working. My name is Vincent Kigen. And I'm the chairman of National Employment Authority. I'm delighted to be part and parcel of this congregation today, having been mentored through student leadership. I was the vice chairman of students' organization of the University of Nairobi, serving together with Babu Wino. And there is a rule that a comrade is always right, or it changed. A comrade is always, and the rule 2 is refer to rule number Evo. So at the National Employment Authority, we are in the space of labor export. Labor export is we are exporting the skills we have in this country that our youths have to outside world, abroad. We are exporting those skills so that you benefit as an individual. You go and work, you get empowered economically, and also we alleviate the problem of unemployment that is in this country. We know there are a lot of interventions that the government is putting in place to address the issue of unemployment, and one of them is labor export. And in labor export, we want to assure you, comrades, that when you get that skill and you really feel you want to utilize it abroad, we are there to ensure that when you go there, your welfare is well taken care of in that at that workspace. We ensure that by signing what we call bilateral labor agreements with destination countries, so that when you go, there is a framework that is already laid down that spells out what you are supposed to do and the number of hours you are supposed to work and even the salary that you are supposed to be paid. I know there were issues and someone raised when I came in, there were issues in Saudi when about our people, I mean the migrant workers being, their rights being abused. But when this government came into place, we have since reviewed the labor agreement that was there for Saudi, and if you've monitored for the last 1 year, there has been very minimal cases of distress from Saudi there, because we've reviewed the labor agreement. People go there now, they are informed. Before you go, you are informed. You have the contract. You read it in your language, the language you understand, and even you get someone to explain to you what you are supposed to go and do, and you understand the contract before you sign, so that when you go there, you go having the knowledge of what you are supposed to do and what you are not supposed to do. So this government has addressed all those issues that were there. The cases that were there were spillovers from the previous government, because there were loose ends. But now everything is all right, and I can assure you, and I want to encourage every one of us, before even you, as you approach your graduation, as you approach to finish your course, ensure you have a passport so that you'll be ready for the market. We have very good markets, not Saudi alone. We have labor agreements with the UK. We have a labor agreement with Germany, those European countries. We even have an MOU with Israel. And why not for the small wrangles that were there? Israel is paying very well migrant people who go and work in Israel. And I want to encourage you that let's align ourselves to that path. Thank you.
Faith, kindly, I'd love you just to take comrades through how to access Youth Fund. In 3 minutes, you have a mic there. And also, respond to what we are doing around the 16 days of of activism against gender violence. What we are doing, I know you are in so many spaces that are organizing that, especially government spaces.
Okay, thank you. So while I talk about the mandate of Youth Fund, I'll also be addressing the 2 questions that were directed to me. That is one, a comrade asked if the government can give a kitty for comrades who have completed their studies to start a business. Then there was also another question on the tendering processes, that there is an allocation, the 30% allocation for young people, women and persons with disability, and what we are doing to support young people who want to participate in government tenders. So, first of all, allow me to just briefly go through the mandate of Youth Fund. Youth Fund is a fund that was established to support young people between the ages of 18 to 35 years who want to engage in entrepreneurship. It is a fund designed to support and tap into the potential, creativity, and innovativeness of young people towards supporting job creation and reducing inequalities in all aspects of life. So, we have several mandates directed towards supporting young entrepreneurs. One is offering affordable credit facilities. We have comrade-friendly credit facilities. And to answer the comrade's question, you don't have to wait for you to complete university before you can start a business. What the government is pushing is for the young people between 18 to 35 years. Even when you are in college, you can still start up a business. and we can support you throughout the process with the affordable credit facilities that we have. So we have group loans and individual loans. For group loans, you don't need collateral, and they attract 0% interest. You can borrow up to 100,000 Kenyan shillings for a start. So that is very ideal for comrades. If you have an idea, maybe you want to equip a tuck shop, or you want to start something within the school premises, you can group yourselves within a group of 10 people. You register that group as a self-help group at the social development office. Then you open a bank account and you come to Youth Fund office, and we will support you with funding of up to 100,000 Kenyan shillings. Then we also have individual loans. For individual loans, it attracts 8% interest, and you can borrow up to 2 million Kenyan shillings depending with the security that you have. So with this, you can apply as a sole proprietor or as a company. And thanks to the digital transformation efforts that the president is pushing, right now you can actually register a business on your computer, as long as you have an e-citizen account. Who has an e-citizen account here, by show of hands? Who has an e-citizen account? Who has interacted with the business registration service on e-citizen account? Yes, well, if you have an e-citizen account, you just log in, and then you go to business registration services, and you are able to follow the processes. It is very simple. You don't need a lawyer to do that whole process. You can register the business on your own. Then once you have the business, you are able to start your entrepreneurship journey. And in addition to affordable credit facilities, we also offer comprehensive business development services to the young entrepreneurs. We understand that entrepreneurship can be very difficult and lonely, and we are not just in the business of dishing out money. So we support you through training programs that we have, and we also have market linkages. If you have a business and you are looking for market, we are there to support you throughout the process to make sure that your business grows successfully. And I want to encourage you, comrades, you don't have to wait until you complete your tertiary education to get into entrepreneurship. You can actually get the affordable credit facilities that we have at Youth Fund, and then you can supervise. You can even get another person. We have very many young people who are employing others while they are still studying, and you can just supervise within your free time. So it's something that has been done, and we know that you have a lot of potential, a lot of ideas. You can help us towards job creation and addressing the issue of unemployment. So then let me go to the question of the 30% tenders. Youth Fund also has some sector-specific loan products that we offer, and we understand that for young people who wish to participate in government tenders, in as much as there is a law that 30% of tenders allocated by all government institutions should be given to young people, women and persons with disability. Those young people, once they are given a tender, they don't have the money to even supply those goods or services. So most of the young people always have the challenge of working through proxy to supply the services. You are a young person, but there is an older entrepreneur who is just using your details to make money with your details. And Youth Fund has an LPO financing product. This LPO financing product helps young people who have obtained government tenders. We give up to 70% of the LPO contract that you have been given to enable you to supply the goods or services. And you can actually do this. Once you have the business, reach out to your tertiary institution where you are studying. Look out at the government offices, the county government offices. There are these allocations, but the uptake is very low. Once you get that tender, we are there to support you. In addition to LPO financing, we also have asset financing for those young people who want to purchase assets to support their businesses, like tuk-tuks, like borders, or anything that you want to support your business. We finance up to 70% of the asset that you wish to purchase. Then we also have the labor migration loan, which I had said. We work very closely with NEA to support the young people who have secured employment abroad, and we give up to 300,000 Kenyan shillings to help them with the pre-departure expenses. There are so many products you can look through. We have our website. You can check on the website, Youth Enterprise Development Fund. You will get more information about the other sector-specific products that I have not spoken about, such as Talanta Loan, Agribiz Loan, and Go Green, and there is Vijana in Blue Economy. You can check through and see the exciting products that we have to support you. In terms of how you can access our services, Youth Fund has offices across all the 47 counties. We are located majorly at the county commissioner's office. Like here in Kericho County, we are located at the county commissioner's office. And once you visit there, you will get our Youth Fund officer. They will guide you through the whole process. But we implore you, please, once you get the loan, please make sure you use it for the intended purpose, and please repay so that other young people can also benefit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Professor Machuki, kindly. Briefly, tell us about the new funding model. And then there was a question about how KMTC guys are struggling. All the money goes to tuition, to the college, and then comrades wanabaki wanainama. Very briefly, because our time is gone.
Thank you very much, Arnold. Let me pick these issues, but allow me to say one thing that is very important. Madam Director, talking about access to finance, government providing catalytic funding. Finance cannot buy you a business idea. There is a need to develop an entrepreneurial culture among ourselves. Let us have appreciation of the socio-economic problems and where we can play a role in solving those problems, package those problems into business ideas, put in place a business plan, and there are programs that will enable university, college students to be mentored in entrepreneurialism. That is where the seed starts. Financing comes when you have an idea that is packaged, that can be funded. Number two, on NEA, Director has mentioned about that. I teach in a university and I talk about global strategic management. One of the things that happen is that as a university students and college students, there is something called comparative advantage. Studies have demonstrated that Kenya has comparative advantage in its human capital. And it is a skill that, if well packaged, can be used globally. And that is why labor mobility becomes an avenue through which Kenya's labor capital can be harnessed to solve global problems. Now, let me go directly to the issue on KMTC versus Higher Education Loans Board. Up to recently, the Kenya Medical Training College, previously it has been admitting students on its own, but now currently it has been brought on board by the Kenya Universities and the Colleges Placement Services, and therefore there are students who apply to KMTC and they are placed. And just like any other college, just like any other TVET, because there was another question with regard to the new funding model universities. No. The new funding model focuses on universities and the TVETs. So the fact of the matter is that the new funding model works for the universities, TVET institutions, even when institutions exhibit unique the academic means testing instrument, the application process, the banding also applies to TVETs. With regard to KMTC, the students there have an opportunity to apply to Higher Education Loans Board, one for the loans and for the scholarships. But there is an aspect which has been raised with regard to upkeep financing. The upkeep financing is just like it applies to TVETs, where upkeep is provided at 18,600. It's also a process that KMTC students to be considered and be brought on board on that particular arrangement. So that just like universities where over and above students are accessing scholarship depending on their level of need, based on the means testing instrument, they are also accessing upkeep financing. Ile pesa inaenda kwa account ama mfuko ya mwanafunzi. That one is there, and as recent as yesterday or the previous day, the comrades have been having issues that Higher Education Loans Board has not dispersed financing to them. For a simple reason. And this one I will speak in a lower tone so that I'm not misquoted. All of us know that Kenya is a democracy, and some Kenyans went to court to have a hold of the new funding model. Now, there was no clarity what the court put stop to, because we have students in the university the 2022 KCSE students are second year and they are in on the new funding model. Now, the court gave an injunction, the model. The question is, what about these students who are supposed to be funded? So the matter has been deliberated between the Office of the Ministry of Education and the Higher Education Loans Board, and funds have now been released to the students. There is another question on the funds in NHIF. Where did the funds go? I think a comrade needed to have listened to my explanation that in as much as NHIF was receiving
the payments or contributions from contributors, both the salaried and the voluntary contributors, the claims that NHIF was settling were fictitious claims, were claims that were manufactured. The whole issue of governance, and therefore I needed not to say corruption. Those funds went to facilities that were fictitious, with fictitious claims, and that is why we had to now put everything to be visible end to end on a digital health platform, so that if I visit a health facility and I am referred to a level 4 hospital, the system is triggered to track the transactions, the doctor who reviewed me, the Medicare that I received, and the cost, so that Social Health Authority pays for the service that has been offered, and it can be tracked on a digital platform. So the simple answer is the funds in NHIF may have been lost through corruption.
Prof, just a minute.
Thank you.
Prof.
If there will be other questions, probably the rate of unemployment has been addressed. The issue of youth being mistreated in Saudi Arabia, director has addressed. The national CDF, new funding model, and probably Madam here and everybody will talk about how the government can come up with programs to deal with, solutions or interventions to deal with like issues to do with mental health. These are issues to do with mentorship, and one of those platforms is this one, a policy conversation. But here also the students are able to be motivated to be given that dose that will divulge issues to do with mental health, and there could be some other programs, but I want to stop there because of time, Arnold. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. Allow me to bring in Mr. James Minor. Going back to the gentleman who spoke about, you are telling us ndio tufanye nini. He spoke about houses being built in Bomet, where he comes from. So number one, he confirms that the affordable housing project is on course. I know you spoke about the opportunities that exist for young people within the affordable housing project. Just in 2 minutes, please repeat some of the things you said earlier on, because apparently he wasn't listening. That young people can actually benefit from the affordable housing. I'm talking about comrades. You spoke about internship, you spoke about jobs being created, you spoke about the supply chain. Please, in 2-3 minutes, just go over that again, so that then, instead of asking us, the houses are being built, sasa tufanye nini? Tell him the opportunities that exist. It doesn't hurt to repeat.
Thank you, Thank you, Mariba. Let me first of all say, for any market to be feasible, there must be an effective demand. The government's ambition of constructing 250,000 houses a year is by itself an effective demand that can trigger the value share associated with the construction. Let's first of all pick what the immediate in a house, if you think of building a house. Ordinarily, people look at the raw materials, sand, ballast, as well as timber items that are supplied to the construction site. Then labor. They look at the laborers, maybe foodies. Many people do not go beyond that. Let me give you an example because we use examples of where it has been implemented. Egypt started their affordable housing program 5 years ago. They've been able to do 750,000 units. Today, if you move around shops in Nairobi, even here, you start getting products produced in Egypt. Because the secondary factor of the affordable housing, it triggers manufacturing. It triggers companies that want to establish, say, cement, say, even assembling of goods. And that's why we are setting aside some level of production of materials so that we don't necessarily have to import doors and windows, frames. They can well be done by our MSMEs as well as Juakari. While a provision is already made of where you can get some fats, then you have somewhere you can take the fats. Meaning, if you are a foodie, you want to graduate from a Juakari to an MSME, then there is a line of graduation. And if you are an MSME, then there is a line of graduation to a manufacturing level. You know, there are so many companies that are working for Tiba. There is Nairobi Tiba is a huge company producing Tiba, door frames, and very well designed goods for the industry. But again also, you can also grow in that small scale if there is demand. But here, demand can only be created by the number of the houses that you do build. Then, let me go to the tertiary levels. These indirect that are never seen directly. Finance. Every bank in Kenya almost have a finance sector for funding real estate. There are mortgages to finance. There are construction funds to finance the affordable housing. So this triggers again another level of employment. The other level of employment associated is insurance. Houses has to be insured. Loans have to be insured. And this is another level of the value chain that is being created. So you don't have even to be all in the real estate industry for you to benefit. Then, of course, the other business services which are associated with the real estate. There is the real estate agency. Once houses are also completed, there is another level of employment. There is marketing. There are people who will be selling. And by the way, we are engaging the real estate agencies, which we are already discussing. They are the ones who are going to go out and sell these houses, do the agreements. Of course, there is also legal engagement in this. And for those who are doing legal, for example, any lawyer will tell you, when you do an agreement for a sale of a house, there is money. So you can see how this goes on and on. The transport. And of course, sometimes the storage of materials. Very easy area. Storage, warehousing of products. The value chain is very long. But again also, Chairman here talked of going abroad. You need skills. When you leave this country with the skills, you are better off than person who is going out there to do manual works. The payments are very high for people in this sector. In the finance sector, is volumes of money. In the industry, is volumes. Let me remind you what happened at independence. And that's why you find a lot of Indians in Kenya. When the British wanted to construct the railway line, there was nobody in Kenya who knew how to construct. They borrowed our people to do the manual jobs. But all the skilled labor was imported from India. So if you are leaving Kenya and going through the chairman here, we are giving currently internship to students who are on course. Join an internship with us. You get trained. And the day you look for passport and ready to go, you not go as an skilled labor, you go as skilled labor. After campus, after college, you can join us. We are offering internship. And by the way, we have taken over that 3 consortium firms with over 300 employees or with 300 consultants who we want to intern. Our first lot of 2,000 we are taking, we are just shortlisting the team. We will intern with the trained people, very good professionals, very experienced, for you guys who are leaving campus to gain experience, so that when you go to the job market clearly, you earn good money. You earn good money and you are also skilled. If you wish to leave the country again, you go as a skilled expert. Then finally, real estate, when you own a unit, is the best investment, safest ever in the world. Name it. No one, including Mheshimiwa Nyakudi, would not want to own a real estate. It's the safest ever. It's the safest investment, and studies have shown that in urban areas, families who reside in their own houses, their children perform better in school. This one you can Google, you see whether I'm wrong or right. And
thank you.
Economies also. In major countries, they have used reconstruction of their countries, like in Germany after the Second World War. Their economy was uplifted through real estate and construction. China today, which exports most of the products all over the world, produces the highest number of finished products for housing. Reason of their population, they took housing and construction as their major item to develop their country. And so, as in Kenya here, the same. And we have started bearing fruits. Our cumulative, so far, number of employed, number of both direct and indirect, is going to 160,000. And beyond that, let me tell you, young people, today, when you leave school, when you get your first job, start the home ownership journey. And I have said, it's a secure. Don't think buying a vehicle. A vehicle, if you buy a new vehicle today from the shop, you walk with it outside the shop. You take it to Nakuru. You bought that vehicle, 5 million, for example. In Nakuru, you say you want to sell that vehicle. You will not get 3 million. Today, if you invest in a real estate, a house, after 2 years you want to sell the house, I'm telling you, if you bought that house 1 million, you not get less than 2 million on the same unit. It's the safest ever, and I think I've given you the best advice. Stick to this, and you earn your fruits. Much later, you'll never regret. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Arab Sang,
yes.
There was a little bit of a bashing on government feelings. I'd love you to respond to that in just 3 minutes, and any other thing you will have. You saw a little bit of passion.
Right, I think there was the issue of how to identify the special, let's say, creative art. I can say in the office of the president, you know Dennis Itumbi. He is now the head of special programs and special programs and the creative economy. So basically, his department, and also through the Ministry of Sports, Arts and Arts, they will be coming down to identify those talents from all quarters. If it is in terms of sports, if in terms of creativity, it will be there. So you guys be ready. The way the tournament, the Hela Talanta Hela football tournament was done, it was done from across Kenya. And that's why we came up with the team that is now going to African Cup of Nations. So we have that one under the office of the president. Also, the Presidential Digital Talent Program is there. I think all of it will work under Dennis Itumbi. And that program will be able to identify, nurture, and develop talents of youths in Kenya. As we talk about jobs, yes, there are many jobs, as he has talked about the one for export. Local jobs, there are many. Also for you, and also for the youths that maybe have not been able to, to go to your level in the universities. We have many jobs like the Climate Works Mitaani, which is employing over 200 youths in Kenya, and every county will get around 1,500. And that one is on. We have also the Studio Mashinani, Cinema Mashinani, Future Bora, all that are programs to identify talents in our villages. We only talk about internship. Government has started that to help you guys when you finish college and maybe you need to gain some experience. We have internship programs from the public service internship program. Like now the teachers, like this year, the government has employed over 56,000 teachers. Most of them were from the intern program. We will also take another 20 next year, intern teachers. And these interns are taken across not only teachers, even clinical or engineering. In all sectors in government now, there are internship program and they are paid. It's not free. It's not like before. You get up to around 25,000. That is good money to start with. You go for it 1 year, then God willing, if you perform well, you will be taken to that organization or somewhere else. So there is that internship program. And maybe just to end is, I want to help also Chairman here NEA, that for those, our brothers and sisters who are suffering, those who had gone before to places like Saudi Arabia, as you said, there is a toll number from the NEA where you can call. They can call even from where they are and they can be assisted. They can go to the embassies of Kenya in those countries, but they can call this toll-free number, which is 800 22 22 23. 800 22 22 23. So you can send to them. Those who are suffering there, there is one that had been, I was informed the other day, she was suffering from somewhere. We sent the number, she has called, and she has been assisted. So for those who are there, who went before this program of the government that is now having some bilateral agreement with those countries. Before, ilikuwa agency tu inashika mtu wewe unaenda na yeye hata serikali ya juu umeenda wapi? Ukishafika huko ndio unasema nateswa hapa na kutukujua uliendaje. Lakini kwa sasa serikali take over so that those who are going, they are known, their numbers are taken. Thank you.
Thank you. Bet. Oh, you have a mic. I was worried you didn't have a mic.
Thank you, Maliba. I just wanted to add on to the chairperson of NEA. I want to request us, the youths of Kericho, let us please log into National Employment Portal. Once you have logged into the National Employment Portal, it's provided that you register as either an intern or a job seeker. And through that, we might be lucky and some of us can be able to get in the jobs. Then secondly, on the issues of employment, because the main and the basic thing is us, the young people, getting empowerment. I'd like to call us, the young people, also let us invest on agriculture, because the President Ruto's Kenya Kwanza regime is now investing more on productivity, on production, sorry. And through us investing in agriculture, we are going to get corporates introduced to our societies. Maybe using example the milk coolers maybe in Kabianga. You know, once it was introduced, now farmers and also the young people are able to keep cows or rather cattle, so that through that cooperative they are able to get empowered. Secondly, is also an issue on politics. You know, politics is what dictates the economy of the nation. And we, the young people, let us come out. Don't fear anything. Because these people, deep state system does not exist. You are the deep state, you are the system. And therefore, even now, we have a problem of leadership, yes, but we are not fighting the leadership. We are helping these leaders achieve what they promised in their manifesto. And therefore, coming even with the elections that will be coming for 2027, I want you people, let us remove all ignorance in the society. These people using, maybe using bursaries to lure our parents, to lie to our parents. People using roads to campaign so that they can lie to our parents, you know. It's because of us that are not taking the responsibility of removing the ignorance between in our society through guiding our parents. And now we have a very big responsibility as the young people, because we had the Gen Z movement. Imeenda chini. Now we have to revive it, and maybe I'll lead you maybe from 2026 so that we remove total ignorance and have rightful leadership, so that even in the parliament we have people who are leaders and politicians, not only politicians who go there because of deals and other shoddy business deals. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Allow me to just come. Antonella, as in tuko mbele ya watu, sija kushika mkono kwa ubaya. There was the question on GBV. It's not been responded to. Just in a minute, what are we doing at the party in government around the 16 days of gender? In a minute.
Comrades power. Comrades ria. My name is Antonella, head of the digital communications of the party. Lakini Maliba umeniambush, but ni sawa tu. As the young lady asked that what is the government doing in order to combat the GBV and violence meted on girls, women, and students. Recently, if you saw, the president had a meeting and a partnership with 47 women representatives across the country. He has provided them with funds, and he has empowered them to go across the country to preach to the girl child, to plead with the boy child, and to the perpetrators of violence. Gone are the days that girls belong to the kitchen. Wasichana mko hapa, si munasoma pamoja na vijana. You do the same exams. At times you even pass and perform better than them. So why is it that when a girl gets married, she's sent to the kitchen? Vijana and comrades that are here, in the near future you will be parents. Is that what you want your girls to go through? Or is that what you want your girls to go through, to belong to the kitchen? Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Uko sure? You want them to belong to the kitchen? Then will you take them to school?
It's easy.
Perfect. So just to answer Maliba's question, the government and the president is committed to ensuring that the safety of women of this country, the safety of the students, the safety of the boys and men of this country, because GBV si ya wasichana peke yake, we have also seen men who have been wamekatwa, wamenyofolewa pia na mabibi. So GBV si ya women peke yake. The president, the party, is keen on ensuring that every Kenyan is safe in their workplace. Every Kenyan is safe in their home places. And therefore, wakati president na hawa mama watakao wanakuja vijijini kuwaongelesha, tusaidiane kuangamiza hii GBV, tusaidiane pia kuprotect wasichana wetu, dada zetu, watoto wetu na ndugu zetu. Asanteni sana.
Sawa. True. That's what I wanted to talk about. Comrades power. Comrades power. Boy child. Nataka niseme hivi. You know, one of the things that has actually happened as we empowered the girl child is that we abandoned the boy child. By the way, if you empower the girl child and you do not prepare the boy child to meet the level of that girl child, hapo sasa unaleta chaos in future. So it should be balanced as we move forward. I'm hoping that as we move forward, for those of you who come from areas where FGM is practiced, how do you solve FGM? You don't talk to the girls. You actually talk to the men. Siku ile hakutakuwa na market ya wasichana wametairiwa. Hakuna msichana atataka kutairiwa. It's about demand and supply. So, so long as the market demands msichana ametairiwa, I can tell you somehow, I know in places where girls wanajipeleka kujitairi wenyewe, si ndio? So if you empower the boy child kuwa kitu imekatwa si mzuri ya kukula. As in, umesort ama namna gani? Si ndio? You disrupt the market ama namna gani? Na market ni sisi, si ndio? They should empower us so that tuendelee sisi wote, because mnajua tu vile vitu ziko. Finally, kuna mtu anaitwa Kibet, is our director legal. Nataka tu awaambie juu ya kujoin chama. You know, this man is very sharp, lakini amenyamaza. And I love sharp human beings wale wenye wapigi kelele, wanasema ukae hapa katikati. So just tell them about how to join the party and exactly how to actually get going around these things that are politics. In a minute.
Good afternoon. As Maliba said, my name is Kibet Emmanuel. I come from this county. I went to school here, born and bred here. I went to school just across the road, across the river, Kericho High School. Who went to Kericho High here? Yeah, I can see. Even your senator who was here earlier went to Kericho High School. So, yeah, they said a director for legal at the party, the UDA party. I'm also the director, an independent director at the Kenya Post Authority. And when one of us challenged us as to what the government has done for the young people, I think I'm one of those beneficiaries that the government has aided by appointing us to those levels of authorities where we get to interact and to pass views, comments, and the aspirations of young people. So I think just to represent and to buttress what Mheshimiwa Nyakundi had said, that the government is keen to support all the young people through all ways and means that it can. And we, at UDA Party, we continue to build on that platform and to leverage on the opportunities that the government has given us. So swali ambayo umeuliza, how to join our party. First of all, nowadays it's very easy to join the party. You can even join the party through eCitizen. And as you might have seen the day before yesterday, when the president was launching the 1-year anniversary of eCitizen services, and the millions of services that have now been onboarded to eCitizen. So one of the easiest ways to join the party is you go to eCitizen, and then you go to the ORPP, that is the Office of the Registrar of Political Parties. It will give you an opportunity there where you can resign from the party that you belong to. I suppose there are those who don't belong to UDA, but you came here. Just as usually in church, wanaulizaga nani ni mgeni, lakini hatutaki kuuliza namna hiyo leo, because we want to welcome you by telling you you can join UDA through the portal, you can join through the USSD, and we'll be sharing the USSD code with you. Because Babu, this party is moving towards digitization as the government is also advancing in digital services. We do not encourage manual registration of our members because it is available. You can join through USSD. That means you can join through any phone that you have. And you can also join, the USSD code is *509#, and it will give you prompts, which are very easy to follow. And then, of course, you can join online through eCitizen. We welcome you all to the UDA party, and we are very happy to be here. For those of us who come from here, we are very happy to host the rest of the UDA family. Asante.
Please clap for him. Coordinator, UDA coordinator. Just a moment. UDA coordinator. In a minute, karibisha hawa na uambie penye ofisi ya chama iko.
Good afternoon, everybody. I don't know whether most of you knows me. Kuna watu wananielewa, wananijua kutoka village huko mahali tunatoka. Hamna? No, there are people. Anyway, I'm the UDA coordinator Kericho. I want to tell you this party is good. I worked for the deputy president in URP. I work for the deputy president in Jubilee. And I work for the president now in UDA. And I want to tell you, President Ruto asahau mtu. The other day when we were doing some registration, I talked to some of us, and I said, those who worked for the party,
they'll never be forgotten. Some of them have been given some appointments as directors. Some are working in the party. Some were given nominations for those people who work for the party. So I want to encourage you, when we'll be doing elections in Kericho, I want to see young people taking over from us. I want you to come forward so that you can be elected as leaders of UDA in Kericho. Will you come? Welcome. Number 2, just give me a minute. I work with, I'm a director in Kenya Leather Development Council. We are opening, I think you heard the president talking about a factory being opened in Kenani in Machakos. There'll be a very big potential for employment. And you cannot be employed without having a skill. I would encourage you to register in some courses dealing with leather. You know, if we can have skilled people in Kericho, for instance, who have done leather. I know politicians from Kericho are very cooperative. We can encourage some of you who have got skill to open some businesses in Kericho. You do some leather products, final products like shoes. We can talk to schools to give you a market for the products you will produce. And you'll be big people, will get money. So I want to encourage you, those who want to have those skills, you can just see me later behind the tent. Then I can tell you where you can get those skills. And then when you come, I've had madam from Youth Fund. You can borrow money from Youth Fund, open a small business, get your shoes, and then we get the money from market from schools. Otherwise, I want to say, karibuni Kericho sana. Karibuni zaidi sana. Asante.
So, Chemtai Melody Bet sent me a message here on text. She's giving you a proposal to the office of the government spokesperson. She says, the government is doing so much out there, but I have realized that the projects and work of the government ain't being disseminated correctly. My take is, can the office of the government or the president's spokesmanship be devolved? So ukirudi uambie Daktari Isaac Mwaura kuwa tunataka kudevolve hiyo kazi yake. At least that's what Bet proposes. I have got the vice chair of UDA's National Elections Board, NEB. She's here. I wouldn't actually go without having her tell you about elections. Somebody spoke about it. So in a minute or two, tafadhali, kuja salimia hawa Wakenya wazuri na uambie mambo ya elections.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Comrades power. Comrades power. My name is Veronica Chebet. I'm the Vice Chair National Elections Board, UDA. And I'm happy to be here. I come from Nakuru County though, but my mom originated from Belgut. How many are from Belgut here? Hi. Okay, we are very soon coming back to our grassroots elections. And as youth, I would advise you to maybe take part in elections, because we have a provision for the youth, maybe youth representatives, people with disability, even women of my age or even men. Kindly do participate in our grassroots elections when we come back to you. Otherwise, thank you so much and God bless you.
Asante sana. The executive director for UDA, Nicodemus Bore, was here, but he rushed into a meeting. There's also our director programs, Daniel Kipto. He was here. There was a meeting he rushed to. For the staff, UDA staff who were here, simameni tu kwanza watu wawajue. Unajua kupanga hii mkutano paka itendeke si rahisi. Watman, I have seen Antonella is here. UDA staff, please stand up wherever you are. Just wave. Hawa sitawapatia nafasi ya kuongea. These are the people who've made this actually successful. And before I forget, Comrades power is the second most powerful power after the God of the power of God. Sindio? Comrades power. So when Kigen, he said, wanaita Kigen, sisi huwa tunasema tu Kigen, was saying that the comrade is always right. Aaron had already told us much earlier that as we engage, we should also look at it from this other end, where we don't ask question just because tumeenda na kitu kisemwa inarudiwa. Nataka tusimame. I want us to stretch. We've been sitting for a while. Let's all stand up. Na tutoe kofia. The EAC anthem.
Mungu twaomba unilinde Jumuiya Afrika Mashariki, tuwezeshe kuishi kwa amani, tutimize na malengo yetu. Jumuiya yetu sote tulilinde, tuachilike, tuimarike. Umoja wetu kinguzo yetu, idumu jumuiya yetu.
Thank you. God bless you, Kericho. You will be sorted shortly.